the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
At East Coast Wings and Grill. Enjoy 75 tasty flavors of buffalo wings, fresh salads, burgers, and a variety of delicious dishes. Experience a family-friendly atmosphere you can't get anywhere else. Fresh, family, fun.
Hudson Auto Works is conveniently located off of Highway 29, 812 Post Street, Greensboro, North Carolina. Our beautiful 15,000 square feet facility is home to 21 highly trained professionals offering used car sales, collision repair, automotive detailing, and the best customer service you won't find anywhere else. Visit us at www.hudsonautoworks.com or call us at 336-772-0685.
Get your business noticed with quality vinyl vehicle wraps from Roof Sign Service. Roof Sign Service has been providing truck lettering and quality printed vehicle graphics for over 50 years. Now they offer premium digital printing wraps for all types of vehicles. Add a new element of energy to your company's image. Get more mileage out of your business-to-business advertising by wrapping your vehicle into a moving billboard from Roof Sign Service. Roof Sign Service in Greensboro, where you can get wrapped and get noticed.
And good evening, everyone, from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and welcome to Race 2 of the Pitwall Podcast Racing Stock Car Series from the virtual Myrtle Beach Speedway. Last week it was Ross Dalton who brought home the checkered flag. Who will it be this evening? Hello, friends, and welcome to the broadcast area alongside my partner on Elevated TV, Christian Delgado, and our buddy Rooster, Cody Demers. Going to be turning the dials back at the studio for us this evening. Christian, you've seen 125 laps of racing already at this racetrack tonight, you and Cody, so what can we expect in this race tonight?
Yeah, it's going to be a really tight. Obviously, me and Cody, when we did our race, was during the daytime, so a little bit more slick. In the nighttime, it's going to be a little bit more gripped up, a little bit more, I think another lane could probably open up, but Myrtle Beach, really hard to pass that. Tire wear very big here, so I think, track position is going to be huge here, so look out for these drivers to try to be as quick and quality as they can, get that track position, and try to keep the track position throughout the race.
It's about what I've seen. It's about what it's like in real life. You might see that second line start to work depending on how well you save tires or however much fuel might be in the car. These drivers in the race today, 125 laps. They will have 3 attempts at the green-white checkered if we should need it. There is a 2 hour and 5 minute time amount that is allotted. If it takes 2 hours to go through 125 laps at Myrtle Beach, it's going to be a long night. Anyway, there'll be no halfway break. No tires will be allowed. 15 drivers, it looks like, will be entered into the race unless anybody joins the server late. See 2 drivers with a spotter in the server. Speedbird and Ethan Johnson will get a provisional if they should so need them here at the J. Dalton Auto Tech 125 this evening at Myrtle Beach. We're going to take a short little break before we get things going here, and we'll go through qualifying after the break. This is Elevated TV, alongside my partner, Christian Delgado, our producer, Cody Demers, and myself, Dylan Conley. We'll have all the action in just a moment.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
And we welcome you back to Elevated Television this evening. I am Dylan Conley alongside my partner Christian Delgado this evening, and our producer back in the studio, Rooster. Cody Demers going to have the dials turned for us this evening. And glad you're with us here under the lights here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Christian, what are some more thoughts that you have with this field last night? You know, you weren't here with us last week, but you went back and watched a little bit of the race, it sounds like.
Yeah, I went back and watched the racing, you know. I see some new faces in here, which is really good to see in the league. So interested to see how they will interact with these, you know, more veteran drivers in this league. Obviously, we see Ross and Blake up here towards the front again, like they were last week, and you know, I think they're going to be factors in day in and day out in this late model stock. It seems like they've got this car figured out, but definitely, like I said, going in the nighttime, I think the track will open up a little bit. Second lane might open up a little bit. With just when it's nighttime, right? The track is colder. Has a little bit more grip, so I think it should promote a little bit more better racing than the slicked up track that we saw in the daytime just an hour or so ago. So hopefully we can get some good racing going on. With 120 laps, still, you know, that's a long time for drivers to make mistakes and come from the back, come to the front. So hopefully we can get a good race underway.
You know, tires are going to be a big thing here again. No sets of tires, so we saw that last week. There were 2 or 3 guys that spun out or slid their tires over the course of the race, and they spent a lot of laps just basically treading water to keep their tires cool and get them cooled back down, it seems. So again, we are here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway. It was originally named the Ramby Raceway. It was built in 1958 and was located on US Route 501. Of course, we say were because now virtually we'll always have it, but now, sadly, Myrtle Beach is a parking lot. Myrtle Beach is it's an oddly shaped racetrack. It's very similar in shape to Memphis Motorsports Park and to Richmond Raceway. It's a D-shaped oval, but the front stretch, it's not a perfect curve. It's kind of a more spread out curve on the front stretch, and then it gets sharper as it gets to turn 1. This is a semi-banked asphalt oval. You saw all kinds of series here. You saw all of the NASCAR touring series here. You saw ASA. I believe the Cars Tour ran a race here before this place was torn down, but you know, it's just one of those things that sadly is going along the wayside here. Is, you know, short tracks are sadly slowly dying, but there are some that are coming back from the dead. One big one was North Wilkesboro, and you know, North Wilkesboro's made a big boom in the racing world along with Hickory, and there are a bunch of racetracks around the country now that are making a comeback. You saw all kinds of drivers like Gary St. Amant, Jay Fogelman, Brendan Queen, Ty Majeski have won the big race there, the Myrtle Beach 400. The race was moved to Florence. Is going to be moved to Florence this season, but a lot of big names have won at this racetrack, both in the Touring Series and the Cars Tour, and in the race that they host every year with super late model stocks, which is what we're racing here tonight, Christian.
Yes, you know, once again, it's just going back into the race last night. Not last night, just an hour or so ago. You see a lot of the front runners from that race up there. Gary Ledbetter was very quick, just had an unfortunate race. Ross Dalton, winner of that memorial race. Blake Thornburg up there, I think got P2 in that race. So a lot of the fast guys are up there in practice. So hopefully, you know, those drivers can keep up there, you know, and I think we'll be putting on a great show for the fans at home.
No, hopefully so. It should be a good racetrack. I've seen, you know, an official race. This puts on a pretty good show racing-wise. You know, mainly the biggest series that will come here is C-Fixed will occasionally make a trip here, usually during a week that they're off or a week during the off season. But, you know, mainly you'll see the street stocks come here. You will see the little legend cars come here. The 87s have been known to make a trip or two here, along with the late models and the Cars Tour late models. Again, all kinds of this track gets a lot of run on the iRacing service that you'll see tonight. Again, we're glad you're here with us on Elevated TV. They're wrapping up the drivers' meeting here. Owner Ross Dalton's going over the ground rules here for tonight's event here at Myrtle Beach, and we'll see who can park it in victory lane. They will have qualifying here. They'll have 4 laps, but they're going to take the best lap of those 4 laps here. In about a minute or so, they'll get started. We'll check out everybody qualifying here, and we will see who wins the MPM award for the pole position this evening. Looks like we'll have 15 drivers. Ignore Christian Delgado. He is in the race as a driver, but he will not be competing this evening. 15 drivers: Gary Ledbetter, Ross Dalton, Blake Thronenberg, Cody Pace, Austin Purnell, Jordan Blair, Dave Bishner, Brian Rose, Jeremy Beauchamp in the 69, Amanda Turner, Chase M. Murphy, Buddy Isles, Jeffrey Johnson, Ryan Nowicki, and Austin Speedy Bird will be your 15 drivers this evening, unless we have a late entrant in the next 30 seconds or so, but it doesn't seem like we will have one. Christian, you took a few laps in this practice session. How'd the track feel?
Yeah, it felt really well. Not the most experienced in this late model stock, but yeah, I felt like there was a lot of grip on that bottom, like we were talking about. I saw some drivers being able to pass me. Of course, I'm not up to the pace that these guys are, but it looks like you can pass up on that top, and if you can run it up there. But yeah, it felt really good. I feel like if you can, it felt really manageable. So if it, like as we talked about earlier, no tires. So I think it'll be pretty easy to save tires here as long as you just don't oversend the corners. Like I said, like they say, a lot of the time you got to treat that gas pedal like you got an egg under your foot. So they just got to continue to do that and try to save the tires best they can. And I think once again, tire saving is going to be huge here. So who's ever going to be the best tire saver is going to be in contention at the end of this race.
That's about what I thought as we're getting ready for qualifying here. We've moved to the qualifying session. You see Blake Thronenberg on your screen there, doing the cheese, as we like to so eloquently say on iRacing, doing some swerving, get some heat built up in the tires. You see them do this in real life, so I really actually don't consider this cheese, but you normally start to see them speed up at this point, but Blake's just making sure he gets every bit of heat there. There's Gary Ledbetter, who's just gone out, and we go back to Blake Thronenberg. This is individual car qualifying, but they're all just going to qualify in essentially their own different session for the next 10 minutes. And the fastest of their 4 laps will be where they'll be placed for the race this evening here at this. It's a little bit of a bull ring. It reminds me of the Las Vegas bull ring. It's just north of a half mile, 0.54 miles to be exact, as it's a very flat racetrack. Again, drives, those of you that have seen the Craftsman trucks and the used to be called the Busch Series race at Memphis Motorsports Park, this is the main track that it reminds me of. Is Blake Thronenberg there once again, going through turns 3 and 4 across the front stretch. Gary Ledbetter is your provisional pole sitter at the moment, as Thronenberg now puts it on the pole with a 19.016. As you take a look at Buddy Isles, now back to Blake Thronenberg, back to Buddy Isles, as we go back to Blake Thronenberg once again, and then Buddy Isles once again, as he will come off of turn number 4. And he will lay down a lap that will improve from one position. He will go up to 3rd place with a 19.154. Anything you're seeing in qualifying right now, Christian?
Yeah, you're noticing that if you can get it stuck on, like, in that second groove, not right on the bottom. I think that bottom is just a little bit too slick. It's flat down there, so you see the drivers trying to wrap the bottom the best they can and trying to get the best drive off, but I mean, that's kind of what we expected here. You don't really see any drivers trying to run the top, trying to get a run off the top. It's just not the way this track works. So I think whoever can just be as hard as they can under that braking zone in the 1 and 3, who can get into the power without stepping out the car, is gonna get the best lap here.
I would agree with that. We currently have 11 of the 15 drivers competing in tonight's event have laid down a lap, and they're within about 0.4 of a second from Blake Thronenberg in first right now to Jeffrey Johnson in 4th. But again, this is very different from your normal qualifying. Normally, you'd either have 2 laps, or you would only have 1 warm-up lap and then just 1 lap to set down a time. But this is not, it's not be confused with IndyCar qualifying that they have at the Indy 500, where it's an average of 4 laps. This is your best lap that you can set down in a 4-lap period as you look at the 19 of Jordan Blair, as currently he sits P3 on the board. There are 2 drivers that have broken into the 18s, Blake Thronberg and Ross Dalton. Looks like they'll be your front row here with about 6.5 minutes left in qualifying. If everyone gets through their 4 laps qualifying before then the time will be shortened. And we'll head to the race as Jordan Blair comes across the line. Doesn't look like he improved from any of his previous laps, as looks like he will sit in P3 at the moment. Jeffrey Johnson right now trying to improve as he slots back into the top 10 at a 19.287. Only 3 drivers have not set a lap yet. Cody Pace, Dave Bishner, and Austin Speedy Bird. I think Speedy Bird's going to take his provisional. I haven't seen him get on track yet, as Cody Pace and Dave Bishner have not laid down a time here. Cody Pace is on track at the moment. Looking Zinmobile, the Zin Spearmint, the tobacco substitute, as he will come off of 3 and 4 for the first time. And he will set down a time. He slots into P6 at the moment with a 19.084, excuse me. As currently he's P6 on the board as we're halfway through the qualifying session. He has completed 2 laps so far. So now Dave Bishner and Austin Speedy Bird have not set down a time yet. As Speedy Bird's on track now on that hard-to-miss red 16. As he about lost it off turn number 2. Don't be deceived, folks. It says number 16, but his car number is 2 in the race service. He loses it off of turn 4 as he slides through the grass, parks it right in victory lane. Be a very big comeback if he were able to do that in the race this evening. So he'll get it all turned around, and I'll see if he can go through the last, looks like 2 laps that he has remaining. So now the only person that has not been on track, Dave Bishner, looks like he's going to be content with starting in 15th at the moment. Christian, pretty fast times that we're seeing on the track here. Everyone's kind of close. About a 4/10 of a second difference between 1st and 13th place at the moment, as Speedy Bird lays down a blazing time of 34.737, almost double the time of the next car that he's chasing.
Yeah, I agree. With how many cars are here, like 4/10s between everybody is, very competitive, and even the top 3, top 5 within a top 6 actually, almost within a 10th of each other. So that's, that really excites me to see how, good the racing will be into the race with everybody so on top of each other, so close on times, at least when it comes to qualifying and push pace. Once again,
Speedy Bird puts it into the wall right there, as he's not able to improve on his time. He looks like he's going to be at least P14. He has completed all 4 of his laps, so he will sit P14 unless Dave Bishner hops on track in the next 3.5 minutes. Okay, glad you're here with us from the virtual Myrtle Beach Speedway in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, alongside my partner Christian Delgado. We're glad you're here on Elevated TV this evening. They are finishing things up at qualifying. Always looking for advertising here on Elevated TV. Give old Rooster a call here, and he'll get you set up. We are at the Pitwall Podcast Stock Car Tour. Race number 2, they were at, where were we at last week? We were at Hickory last week, where Ross Dalton was our winner that evening. Very exciting race. Came down to a photo finish, as looks like we're close to wrapped up. Dave Bishner has declared he will not qualify this evening, so he will start in position number 15, as they're going to advance to the next session here momentarily, as we're ready to go racing here in Myrtle Beach for 125 laps. So the field starting grid, let's take a look at the starting lineup for tonight's event. Your front row, Blake Thronberg throws down an 18.973. Behind him, or next to him, excuse me, Ross Dalton with an 18.990 there in second. Jordan Blair in third. Gary Ledbetter rounds out row number 2. Row 3, Cody Pace, Austin Purnell. Row 4, Buddy Isles with a 19.154. The top 7 all within a 10th and a half. Jeremy Beauchamp in 8th position rounds out row number 4 as Christian will take you through the rest of the field.
Yeah, and row 5 is going to be Chase Murphy and Amanda Turner. Row 6 is going to be Jeffrey Johnson and Ryan Nowicki. And then in row 7 is going to be Brian Rose and Austin Bird. And then Dave Bishani is elected.
There you go.
Bishner. There you go. I'm going to butcher these names. Elected to not qualify.
It's all good. Nobody's listening.
So he's going to elect the start in the back, decide not. Set a quality lap.
So yeah, Dave Bishner was the only one to not set a qualifying lap. As they're getting final instruction here from Ross Dalton. As the cars are gridded, we're ready to roll here in Myrtle Beach. So one thing you notice here, they got to be careful with those turtles that are through 1 and 2. You see those white circles that are on the racetrack. Those could actually cause damage to the cars that have the ability to have floor damage. And I believe this is one of those cars that, because I've ran over those before in a street stock race and, braking, and I ran over it and I had about 4 minutes of damage. So you have a chance to have damage if you hit those turtles. So got to be careful of those. As I believe we are at 1 to green this time by. Christian, any final thoughts before we go?
No, not really. I'm just excited to see how aggressive these drivers are going to be. Obviously, no tires. It's going to be interesting to see who's going to push to try to get this track position early. Who's going to save some stuff. One.
Well, the pace truck from iRacing is off the field. It's in the hands of Blake Thronberg. As they come around, the virtual fans coming to their feet. Barney the flag man ready to wave that green flag, and we are racing here in Myrtle Beach. Blake Thronberg will come around and lead lap number 1 as Ross Dalton's in tow behind him. He's going to have a Jordan Blair come to the inside alongside Gary Ledbetter. Cody Pace going to think about making it 3 wide in that green Zinn machine as he thinks otherwise, as Thronberg's going to lead lap number 2. Christian, you already see that top line starting to work just a little bit, it seems like.
Yeah, you see the 32 of Gary. He'll leave up in the top. I think he's going to get up in the P2. Almost. He's going to be clear. I think he should be clear out of this corner. But you're starting already to see that 32 car. I think he wants this track position. He wants to be up here. He wants to get these couple of spots. And I think, what I would do is I'd be smart right now. Sitting in P2 in a really good spot. I think this would be a good time to start saving tires. Save your equipment. And then, make a run at it towards maybe the middle and the end of the race.
4 laps complete here in Myrtle Beach. 121 laps to go. Things pretty single file all throughout the field. Gary Ledbetter sitting in second behind Blake Thronberg, who's led the whole way. Cody Price looking to the inside here through 3 and 4. He's not going to have enough to get a fender on him as they're still single file. Pretty clean all throughout the field right now. Not a whole lot of bumping and banging. The good thing that you see here, the iRating is not the greatest tell of skill that there is in the world. You could tell who could drive. If you got a 6K iRating, you're pretty good at driving. But, you have behind Blake Thronberg, who's at a 6K iRating, you have Gary Ledbetter and Cody Pace, who are right in the bottom of the 4Ks, and then Ross Dalton at a 3.6. And then you have Jordan Blair in 5th, who's still a rookie on the oval side, and Amanda Turner, who has a 900 iRating. So, talent's talent. Doesn't matter what your iRating is, as Gary Ledbetter will go to the lead, Christian.
Yeah, you see him, like I said, taking advantage of everybody being stacked up. He's going to, take the lead. You see him, I think he's one of the only drivers that is willing to actually get up there and run the top. We'll see how that how his right rear likes that in the next 15, 20-ish laps, but he's getting lit up by that number 84 car right now.
So you take a look there as Gary Ledbetter has disappeared, as he has reappeared again. Some internet issues right at the moment for Gary Ledbetter, as he is the second leader tonight. He has led a small handful of laps. Cody Pace wanted to go from the lead. He's been our biggest mover. He's now advanced 4 positions as he advances to the lead here at Myrtle Beach. As we're approaching 10 laps complete, he is leader number 3 for lead change number 3 this evening. As they go down the backstretch on this D-shaped oval, track temp only 77 degrees, so there's a lot of grip on this racetrack. The air temp 74.2 degrees. Very humid at all. As it is a good night for racing. Currently says in the session it is 9:15 as there's a 7-car breakaway. Up front, you have Cody Pace, Gary Ledbetter, Blake Thronberg, Ross Dalton, Jordan Blair, Amanda Turner, and Jeremy Beauchamp, your top 7, and then about a 3.5-second gap back to Austin Speedy Bird, who's moved up into 8th place. He's up 6 spots, along with Dave Bishner behind him. Brian Rose, Austin Purnell, Chase Murphy, Buddy Isles, Ryan Nowicki, and Jeffrey Johnson shotgun on the field back in P15 as we go back to the front of the field. And it's still just big old snake up front as they come around. 13 laps complete here in this one. And glad you're here with us this evening. This is round number 2 of the Pitwall Podcast Stock Car Series. Round 4, excuse me. I had my numbers mixed up on my notes. Apologize for that. As coming through 3 and 4 again, Cody Pace still with about a 2/10 of a second lead on Gary Ledbetter. You know, Christian, I'm very curious. I think everyone's just content to sit like this for a little bit and just conserve tires.
Yeah, that's what it looks like right now. It's just, you know, especially at short tracks, you know, when you burn off the right front, you burn off the right rear, it's so hard to cool those tires back down just because of how much you have to be in the gas, you know, to be consistently fast here. So I agree. I think everybody's content just kind of running behind each other, just logging laps, trying to keep their equipment clean, trying to save tires. And then once we get some logging laps done, you know, I think some people are going to start to be more aggressive. But you see the 14 going underneath the 22 trying to take over that 3rd place spot.
So that Hot Wheels machine looking for some position. Blake Thronberg tried to throw the crossover. I think Blake's just trying to save some tires here and let these guys go. Because, again, the only tires that you have are the ones that are on the car. There's no extra sets down pit road, so you have to be careful with your tires. As it's still a 7-car breakaway, as Amanda Turner looks like she might have put a little bit of the bumper to Gary Ledbetter, as Amanda's going to move into 2nd position. Oh, that's Jason. That's apparently Jason Turner. That's Amanda's husband. On the broadcast, it'll say Amanda Turner, but that's Jason Turner. So we apologize, Jason. If we happen to call you Amanda again, we apologize. Should have logged in under the correct name. But that's just me. I'm not going to bash anybody. So Jason's moved up into P2 in the Amanda Turner Motorsports machine. As now Jacob is now in pursuit of Cody Pace.
Yeah, Jason moving up through this field, already up 8 spots. I mean, he's definitely taking advantage of those fresh tires at the start of this race.
Yeah, you know, again, it's a big thing right now. Now there's about 3 different packs all throughout this field, as you have your top 7 still pretty much nose to tail under a blanket, as Turner and Pace are starting to pull away just a little bit. Turner's got some left front damage, as we'll see if that comes into play. Then you have 8th through 11th in a 2nd pack, and then your final 4 in the back of the field, about 3/10 behind them. So it's almost like a tier system. You have your pretty much 7 that were fastest in practice, and then your next 3 or 4 that were the next fastest, and then the last 4 in practice that were the slowest. So you could tell who's good here. You could tell just based off of practice how everyone was.
Yeah, definitely. I'm interested to see as everybody's content running, you know, by themselves. If we don't get a caution, I have a feeling these faster cars might catch the back end of that field sooner or later. With 125 laps, that's a long ways to go. I mean, lap traffic is going to be huge here, especially at a track like Myrtle Beach, where it's just so difficult to pass.
So what's funny, the last couple laps that Jeffrey Johnson running in last place right now, Cody Pace have been running pretty similar lap times. So as the tire fall off has happened, everyone's running about the same. As I'm watching Jason Turner last couple laps about wreck going through the corner. As Jason's all over the place, about lost it off of 4 once again. As Jason, I fear for how that he's driving, that he's already burned up his tires, and we got 100 laps to go here in this one, Christian.
Yeah, I mean that's you know the give and take, right? Are you willing to potentially burn your stuff up trying to get that track position, and then you know have to hang on to it for the rest of the race, or do you want to be smart, lag back, try to save your equipment, make a run at it towards the end? So I mean, it's just whatever you think is the best thing for your race. That's what you got to do. As you see the 14 get super upset, and going into turn 3 right there.
So Turner gets loose, and then it's Gary Ledbetter behind Turner, and then our MPM Pole Award winner Blake Thronberg, forgot to mention that. He sits in P4 right now. Ross Dalton in 5th. Jordan Blair 6th. Jeremy Beauchamp 7th. Dave Bister 8th. Brian Rose 9th. Austin Speedy Bird rounds out the top 10. Chase Murphy, Austin Purnell, Buddy Isles, Jeffrey Johnston, and Ryan Nowicki has moved into last place right now as Turner hits the turtles right now. Excuse me, I want to call Amanda Turner. It's Jason Turner right there. She's got, my goodness, Jason Turner's got extensive damage on the left side of the car. As we have a caution, as we have a car spinning on the back straightaway. It's Austin Speedy Bird who's gotten into the wall, and the caution is out for the first time this evening. Take a look at the replay here on Elevated TV. Looks like Speedy Bird's going to have to use that quick repair as he just thunderfooted it off the corner, got loose, and nosed it into the wall. He's got a torn up front end, but you know, he doesn't have any other damage, so he might be able to get this fixed without using his quick repair, as Austin Bird was given an EOL penalty for the caution. So we have completed 30 laps here at Myrtle Beach. We're under the caution. We're going to take a short little break and bring you more action. This is the Pitwall Podcast Stock Car Series on Elevated TV. Cody Pace at the front of the field, pacing the field around. Barney the flagman ready to get things back going here. And we are back racing here at Myrtle Beach. Was a quick cleanup, 94 laps to go. As it looks like Speedy Bird did not take his quick repair, didn't even pit. So I think he's saving that quick repair for what he assumes potential calamity later. We'll see how that plays out as Cody Pace gets out to the lead now. Turner behind him, Gary Ledbetter, Blake Thronberg, and Ross Dalton moves into 5th position as they are side by side for 3rd place. Ledbetter and Thronberg on each other like a cheap suit as they go down to 3 and 4. Zeems setup shop machines on the bottom. There's 3 Zeems setup shop machines there, excuse me, fighting for 3rd through 5th place. And you see Blake Thronberg, Gary Ledbetter, and Ross Dalton there. As they head down the backstretch, Thronberg looks like he will have the advantage, and he will not quite clear Gary Ledbetter for 3rd place, but Ledbetter gets loose, and it looks like Blake's going to get 3rd position right here as they head down to turn number 1, Christian.
Yeah, you see the 14 backing up to these guys. I think Jason, you know, Up 8 spots, probably uses stuff up a little bit more than he wants to. Ooh, that was close between the 22 and the 14, but I think once they get past this 14, I mean, he's really stacking up this top 7, top 8. They're just gonna have to navigate through Jason right now and you know, sort things out as they go by.
I see Blake Thronberg moves up into second position. Turner falling like a rock there. Turner's going to look like going to go all the way back to 6th position in that Hot Wheels car. I mentioned it earlier. Had to imagine that Jason Turner probably drove the wheels off that thing a little too early, as Jason side by side with Gary Ledbetter. And Gary's going to go on by. Now Turner side by side with Jeremy Beauchamp. There's the chance that Jason Turner could fall out of the top 10 after being in second for an early majority of this race.
Yeah, the thing that killed him is he was running hard, and when you get a caution, you cool those tires off. I mean, it's so, and your tires are already gone. It's so hard to, you know, get the tires warmed up enough once there's nothing to warm up. So you see him dropping like a rock, and it's just so hard to, you know, manage the car when you've already used your stuff up when you cool the tires down.
So we had a little contact up front. Cody Pace and Blake Thronberg made contact going into turn number 1 about a lap and a half ago, as it almost looked like it was going to be a big accident, but they're still going here as Pace has extended his lead to about 0.4 of a second over Blake Thronberg, who is in pursuit behind. Again, one thing that's already made a difference is you'll see when they run over those turtles that are in turns 1 and 2, those little, they look like discs, like frisbees on the racetrack. Well, those are concrete. Those can upset the race car, both handling wise, and it can damage your race car. And we've already seen that a handful of times. I have to believe Turner got into those turtles once or twice over that last run. So I have to think that Jason Turner got a little damage from those, from that left front being messed up. And we've seen cars get loose, as Cody Pace, he got loose off of turn 4. We've completed 43 laps here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. I'm glad you're here with us on Elevated TV, as Cody Pace is your leader. We're going to go through the field here. Cody Pace started in 5th position. He's been your leader the last 32 laps. Blake Thronberg 2nd, Ross Dalton 3rd, Blair 4th, Gary Ledbetter in 5th, Jeremy Beauchamp 6th place, Dave Bishner up 8 positions from the start, up to 7th, Brian Rose in 8th place in that Goodwrench GM service car. J&T Woodworks Mobile of Chase Murphy fighting side by side with Jason Turner. And go back to Austin Purnell outside the top 10. He is in 11th place. Buddy Isles 12th place. You look at Austin's Speedy Bird, got that front end damage. I think Austin's going to save that quick repair for later, as he might just be sitting back saving tires back here. Ryan Nowicki in 14th, and last car on the racetrack, Jeffrey Johnson back in 15th position. That has been your run through the field here on Elevated TV, as we are approaching lap number 47 this time by. It's going to be 78 laps to go here in this one.
And as we were going through the field, Jason and Chase Murphy had significant contact, Chase trying to get past Jason, and almost wrecked, but it looks like they saved it, and Chase lost a lot of time doing that, and but he did get past the 14 car, and the damage doesn't seem too bad, but obviously not too happy with probably the way he was raced right there.
So you look at the Turner machine, more extensive damage to that left front. You have to imagine that's affecting the handling. At some point, you think Jason's going to have to come down pit road if there's a caution, or if he just can't take it anymore and take that quick repair, because Jason's he started in 10th position where he currently sits, but he has made it up to 2nd position, even to a point where he was fighting for the lead early on in that Amanda Turner race car. As we go back up front, your leader is still Cody Pace. He is up 4 positions from where he started. He started in 5th place. Everyone in this top 4 they're right where they started, just one spot back. Thronberg started on the pole. He's in second. Ross Dalton started second. He's in third. Blair started in third. He's in fourth. Ledbetter started in fourth. He's in fifth. And then you have Jeremy Beauchamp up 2 spots. And just about the same 7-car breakaway we had earlier. Just one new challenger, Dave Bishner, sitting in 7th position, as pace has extended about a half-second lead over the Blake Thronberg machine in second place, as we have 73 laps to go in this one. Only 3 lead changes so far, but been 3 different leaders here in this event at Myrtle Beach. Tricia, is there anything that's catching your eye here early on? Well, I say early on, as we've completed 53 laps in this 125-lap event.
Yeah, Cody Pace has really caught my eye. Like I said, didn't have the best quality, but, you know, was up here running with the big dogs, you know. Ross Dalton won this Myrtle Beach race that we broadcasted just an hour or 2 ago. Very quick, and Blake Thronberg, you know, they're racing it out for the win there, and you know, Cody's out here, you know, taking care of this lead, and right now it's starting to get a little bit of pressure from that 22 car, but still doing a really great job.
3 of the 5 cars in the top 5 are sponsored by Zeem's Setup Shop. As Cody Pace is still your leader, we had a change for 14th place. Austin Speedy Bird goes over the turtles, about spins out in 14th. He's got more damage on that car now. They have to be careful with that as they head down the back stretch, or excuse me, down to the front stretch. As Speedy Bird, it was only he's been our only caution so far this evening. As we have 69 laps to go in this one. As got a nice battle there for 5th place right now, as Ledbetter is going to move up into 4th position and send Blair back to 5th with Jeremy Beauchamp in tow.
And now we have all 3 of those team cars together, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Except 22 and the 50 are flipped compared to what they were in that first Myrtle Beach race. Now we have the 50 chasing after the 22. Really clean racing by them in that first race. You know, especially when you race for money, especially in iRacing, you know, not a lot of opportunities, especially for the amount of purse that was brought up there. Really clean racing, no bumping and no nothing, just really clean professional racing by those 2 in that first race, and you see them right now running in 2nd and 3rd.
So as we go along here, still about a 7-car breakaway up front here at Myrtle Beach. Very historic racetrack is South Carolina. As looks like Cody Pace and them are going to bring themselves closer to about a pack of 4 or 5 cars with lap traffic. So as we're approaching the halfway mark of this one, we're going to go side by side here at Myrtle Beach. We're going to bring you the second half of action here from Myrtle Beach. This is the Pitwall Podcast Stock Car Series. Glad you're here with us from Myrtle Beach. We'll take a break. Bring you the rest of the action.
Get your business noticed with quality vinyl vehicle wraps from Roussan Service. Bruce Sign Service has been providing truck lettering and quality printed vehicle graphics for over 50 years. Now they offer premium digital printing wraps for all types of vehicles. Add a new element of energy to your company's image. Get more mileage out of your business-to-business advertising by wrapping your vehicle into a moving billboard from Bruce Sign Service. Bruce Sign Service in Greensboro, where you can get wrapped and get noticed.
Hudson Auto Works is conveniently located off of Highway 29, 812 Post Street, Greensboro, North Carolina. Our beautiful 15,000 square feet facility is home to 21 highly trained professionals offering used car sales, collision repair, automotive detailing, and the best customer service you won't find anywhere else. Visit us at www.hudsonautoworks.com or call us at 336-772-0685.
Join us at East Coast Wings and Grill. Enjoy 75 tasty flavors of buffalo wings, fresh salads, burgers, and a variety of delicious dishes. Experience a family-friendly atmosphere you can't get anywhere else. Fresh, family, fun.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over 400.
So we're under the caution flag here at Myrtle Beach, as it looks like Jason Turner might be very short for this race, as he stopped on the racetrack, bringing the caution out that are automatically controlled by iRacing. And the caution's out, and he resumed his pace.
I actually believe the caution was for the 14.
No, that's what I bet.
Yeah. Turner, sorry. Yeah, it just looks like he's been sitting on the inside wall for a lap or so.
Yeah, that's not very sportsmanlike to just bring out a caution like that. I mean, we were watching him during the commercial break. Jason was just all over the place. He was fed up because he overdrove the car, and his lack of skill cost him what was going to be a pretty good finish. He got up to second, as he's going to get his quick repair, but they're under the caution. He's 2 laps down now, so it's really frustrating when you have someone that's just lacking talent, that can't drive the car, and then overdrives it and ruins what was a pretty good green flag run that we had going there. I mean, yeah, I hate to keep it real, but that's pretty much what happened. He was fed up with how bad he was driving that, you know, it just messed everything up.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate because, like, he was sitting right in front of the pit entrance. It's not like he couldn't limp it around. He was feet away from the pit entrance and just decided to poke it next to that inside wall and basically get a caution thrown. And it's unfortunate because you had Grunberg and starting to catch Cody Pace just because Cody was having a little bit of trouble with the lap cars, and it's such a shame that you know, that part of the race had to be, you know, cut out just because of someone's incompetence.
I mean, like I said, I hate to keep it real like that, especially when it's something negative, but when something like that happens, it doesn't help, but, you know, you have to mention it, as Turner's going to be waved around the pace car. As we are back under caution here, only our second caution of the evening. This one was for Jason Turner, and Speedy Bird was the first caution. He took his quick repair, it looks like. So I think those are the only ones that have taken their quick repair. So we'll go through the field here real quick as the lights are out on top of the iRacing Pace truck, as Cody Pace will choose the outside line on this restart. Blake Throberg in second in the Cadillac. Third place, Cody Pace. Gary Ledbetter in fourth. Ross Dalton, then Jordan Blair. Jeremy Beauchamp, Dave Bishner, Chase Murphy, Brian Rose, Ryan Nowicki, Austin Purnell, Buddy Isles, Jeffrey Johnson, Austin Speedy Bird, and Jason Turner, the only car a lap down so far in this one. The pace car is off, and the field's back in the hands of Cody Pace. Arnie the flagman ready to wave that flag. He's waving it. We're back under green here at Myrtle Beach. "48 laps to go, now 47 to go here at historic Myrtle Beach Speedway. As we have completed 78 laps here. Ross Dalton, last week's winner, getting some pressure on Gary Ledbetter. As Ross will slot back into 4th position. And then Gary Ledbetter will be in 3rd, Blake Thronberg 2nd. Cody Pace, still your leader. He's led for about 70, almost 70 laps so far.
Yeah, Cody's doing a really good job just maintaining the race, controlling the race. You know, he has to know how hard it is to pass here, and you know, he's got to pretty much make a mistake to give Thronberg the opportunity to get his nose in there, or maybe try the outside, right? We saw the outside work with the 32 at the start of this race, so we know he can pass up there. I think Cody knows he's going to need a mistake to give Blake an opportunity to race for the lead right here.
So, quick note right here, Cody Pace set the fastest lap of anyone in the race last time by. As now he's got pressure from behind. Blake Thronberg, his lap was the 2nd fastest lap of everyone in the entire race. As now they're going to go side by side here into turn 1 and 2, as you see Turner will let everyone by once again. I believe Jason Turner's going to pull it down pit road. Either get some repairs done or retire from the event, as Turner sits 3 laps down in 15th position at the moment. So a lot of contact. Gary Ledbetter gets loose, got moved out of the way by Ross Dalton, as now they're side by side for 3rd place, as Cody Pace trying to hold tight on the outside, as we're at 41 laps to go here at Myrtle Beach. The big moment is they're still side by side. Ross Dalton moves into 3rd place, last week's winner. Pace and Thronberg touch as they head into 3 and 4. They're leaning on each other. Ross Dalton loves what he's seeing here, as they're both slower, as he ran a lap faster than both of them that last time by. As they go down to 1 and 2 once again, Cody Pace was the leader once again by just a hair, as they're still side by side, as Pace is getting that good run off the top, Christian.
Yeah, but the top is, I mean, on the bottom, it's just so hard. The track is so narrow. I mean, Blake is doing everything he can without, you know, absolutely dooring the 84, and he's doing a really good job at keeping it down there. But you got to think about the tire wear of these two drivers trying to race each other. This is, as you said before, you know, this is exactly what Ross wants to see. Is seeing them use their tires up trying to race each other. He's just sitting back there. Ooh, that was close.
Touch again. Cody Pace still holding tough as he led that last lap once again. As Thronberg and Pace are not wanting to give an inch, as behind them Dalton and Ledbetter are all over each other. I'll tell you one that might enjoy seeing this is Jordan Blair over in 5th position. Sees all these guys fighting for each other. They door again. Thronberg on the bottom. Pace on the top. Pace grazes the wall down the back straightaway, as we're going to come to 36 laps to go. As Ledbetter tried to clear himself on Blair, gets by. He's back into 4th position. It's a dog fight going down to turn number 1 between the top 5. They door again. I think they've doored every single lap for the last 5 laps going into 1 and 2, as Pace is not willing to give an inch.
You see Pace really just pinning him down on the bottom. There's not a whole lot that 22 can do besides kind of slide up every once in a while.
I mean, the thing that Thronberg's going to try to do at some point, old short track move, just going to take a higher line into the corner. That way he's able to cut it down and get the preferred axis off of the corner and hopefully try to get some speed there as they touch again. I tell you, they probably bumped about a dozen times in the last 7 laps or so. So Pace still your leader as we are at 34 laps to go before we find out a winner of this one. It's been really good racing up front. As Pace and Thronberg are side by side. Ross Dalton thought about making it 3 wide. He thinks better of it. As there's a pair of Cadillacs on the bottom side, as Thronberg's going to throw it in there. And he might have the advantage now off of 2. Pace not willing to give it up as they're still side by side. They bump again. They back into the inside wall. Ross Dalton all over the back bumper of Blake Thronberg as we are at 32 laps to go now. That was Blake Thronberg to the front. Pace gets loose. Blake Thronberg to the lead now. He's got him clear as they head down to 3 and 4. As Dalton got a nose under him too. Dalton's going to go by as well, as it looks like Gary Ledbetter might go as well as he gets knocked into the wall. As Cody got bumped back there. As Cody Pace is going to go from the leader to fighting for 4th position now, as all 3 of the Zeem Setup Shop cars have now moved 1, 2, 3 on the pack with 30 laps to go, Christian.
Now you saw the 3rd, 4th, and 5th just licking their chops watching that racing, because I can't imagine that Blake has a good, has as good as tires as this 50 and this 09, and even that 19. I mean, they were racing super hard. I mean, super clean, but super hard to try to get this spot back. And I got to imagine that 50 is licking his chops, and can imagine he can, ooh, that is so close, can get this lead away from this 22.
Ross Dalton, last week's winner, side by side with Blake Thronberg. Now Thronberg's on the top side. He was stuck on the bottom as they touch. Dalton gets loose off of 4 as he's able to save it. Thronberg still maintains the lead as we look behind Cody Pace, who led over 85 laps in this one, now sits in 5th position after fighting all that time with Blake Thronberg, as we are at 27 laps to go this time by. Blake Thronberg, your leader. Ross Dalton 2nd. Gary Ledbetter 3rd. Jordan Blair sitting in 4th. Cody Pace at 5th. Jeremy Beauchamp back in 6th position. Austin Purnell 7th. Chase M. Murphy side by side with Dave Bishner for 8th place. Ryan Rose all alone in 10th. 11th place, Ryan Nowicki. Jeffrey Johnson 12th. Austin Speedy Bird 13th. Buddy Isles, the last car on the lead lap, is in 14th place. The leaders are there with him. And then, Jason Turner is on pit road, looks like out of the race, 18 laps down currently, as Thronberg and everyone are going to catch this lap traffic of Buddy Isles here as we get to 25 laps to go this time by, Christian.
Yeah, we're going to see how, that lap car doing a really respectful thing and getting out of the way the best he can and letting these leaders just race it out. I mean, you saw what, unfortunately, some other cars have been doing and causing cautions and stuff. That's really, really classy of that driver to, get out of the way, let the leaders run their race, especially with this intense battle for the lead.
Well, it's been a good battle for the lead again. That lap car, good move by him. He's the only one that these leaders may catch in these final 23 laps, so he'll be the lucky dog as long as he's not involved in a potential wreck here in this one. As Blake Thronberg is your leader, Ross Dalton 2nd, Gary Ledbetter in 3rd. Your Zeem Setup Shop cars all 1, 2, 3 in this one. So as we approach 22 laps to go, I want to thank FTN for our camera angles as we are going to crank it up for FTN. $18 laps to go here tonight in the Pitwall Podcast Stock Car Series, as Blake Thronberg is still your leader. It's gone by pretty quick, Christian. Only 2 cautions so far.
Yeah, surprisingly clean for what this race I thought would be, right? These late model stocks, they're either clean and green or they're, the cautions tend to pile on depending on just how the vibe of the race is. So happy to see that, only 2 kind of little silly spins besides the 14 cars caution, but besides that, really great racing for the lead, great racing really up through this top 7 has been really great competitive racing. So love to see it, and yeah, hopefully we can keep it green and we don't have to stack this field up for like a late race caution.
So the thing that I've always thought is, in a league race, I've thought your short track racing is much cleaner than, your average official or open lobby, because all these guys are going to race each other every week, so they know how each other races, and you don't want to make anyone mad, because you got a full season of short track racing with them. So that's why I tend to think, in league races, that your short track racing is much cleaner than it would be in just a regular lobby. "13 laps to go this time by. Blake Thronberg still your leader, over 3/10 to Ross Dalton. Gary Ledbetter another 3/10. And the battle for 4th is on. Jordan Blair's in 4th as Cody Pace going to duck to the inside. Try to snag 4th position away with Austin Purnell right behind him in the 4th position.
You see these leaders getting ready to catch some more lap traffic. Looks like they're going to be catching that number 16 car.
So Pace moves back into 4th position. Not able to get him clear just yet, as they head down to 3 and 4. 11 laps to go in this one, as Thronberg's lead's been extended to about 5/10 in this one. So Pace moves into 4th place. Blair tries the crossover. They go back down to 1 and 2. Doesn't make it stick, as Ryan Nowicki will duck out of the way for the leaders and the lead lap cars as they head to 3 and 4. Cody Pace able to clear himself for 4th position, as we are at 10 laps to go here at Myrtle Beach.
See a good battle for 8th right here between that 13 car. Trying to keep it on the inside right there. No, without, ooh, that was close with that lap car. With how old these tires are, you're gonna see who's saved the best tires right now, and you see the 13 get past and grab that spot.
So Speedy Bird goes a lap down. He is now the first car lap down, as he's slotted in between the 3rd and 4th position cars of Gary Ledbetter and Cody Pace. As we are now at 8 laps to go, coming to 7 to go in this one. This has only taken about 40 minutes so far, been relatively clean. We had a wreck. It was Speedy Bird early on, spun off of turn 2. And then we had an interesting caution with the Turner machine about 85, 90 laps in. Other than that, it's been really clean. Not a lot of beating and banging, but not any wrecking, it seems like, as like so Speedy's playing in Jordan's kitchen right now. So he's got his sim rig set up in his kitchen right now. So that's a fun little fact right there, as we're at 5 laps to go, coming to 4 this time by. Excuse me, we're at 6 laps to go, coming to 5 this time by. It's that Arkansas math coming through right here. 5 to go in this one. Christian, he's starting to pull away, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. I'm starting to think that, even if Ross has anything for him, I think he's a little bit too far back right now. I mean, Blake's got to make a big mistake to give Ross an opportunity to capitalize. And I'm surprised that Blake kept this lead, right? He battled with Cody Pace for 10-ish laps, and was still able to outpace the Ross Dalton, and who just kind of sat there behind them and just let them battle it out, and kind of took advantage of the finish of that battle.
So Blake Thronberg will get past Brian Rowe's machine, that Dale Earnhardt throwback, as we're coming to 2 laps to go in this one from Myrtle Beach. Ross Dalton 0.6 of a second behind. Looks like the repeat bid will not happen this evening, as we have a car going down pit road. I believe that is Ryan Nowicki. He's going to call it a night. He'll finish in 14th position, it looks like, as they will come around and face the white flag presented by the Pitwall podcast. As Ross Dalton's mentioning in the voice chat, what a great freaking race this was so far, as Blake Thronberg goes down the backstretch for the final time here at Myrtle Beach. And through 3 and 4, your winner tonight here at Myrtle Beach will be the 22 of Blake Thronberg, as he will take the checkered flag here at Myrtle Beach. Christian, what a race.
Yeah, what a race. How cool was that? And that memorial race, it was Ross and Blake. Ross P1, Blake P2. And in this race, just like an hour or so later, they flip it and race super cleanly for this win. That's so special, to be able to race with a teammate like that and be able just to, oh, I'll win this one, you can win that one, right? So that's, in my opinion, that's so cool to see, good friends and good teammates, dominating today's racing at Myrtle Beach.
So we're getting the post-race festivities underway here, as Blake Thronberg's burning it down tonight, as he's about to, sponsored by Hudson Auto Work this evening. So again, we'll take a look at the final results for tonight's race here from Myrtle Beach, as that was the winning moment presented by Hudson Auto Works. Your winner tonight, Blake Thronberg. Ross Dalton, 2nd place, finishing about a half second behind. Gary Ledbetter in 3rd. Cody Pace, P4. Jordan Blair, P5. Austin Purnell had a good night, finishing P6. Chase Murphy in P7th. Jeremy Beauchamp in 8th position. And we'll have Mr. Delgado take you through the rest of the field.
We got Dave Bushner in P9. And Jeffrey Johnson's going to round out your top 10. Brian Rose, P11. Austin Bird is going to be P12. Buddy Isles is going to be P13. Ryan Nowicki is going to be P14. And then rounding out your field, 45 laps down, is going to be Jason Turner.
So that is your finishing results tonight. We're going to take a short little break, and then bring in our top 3 for some interviews. This is Elevated TV. Congratulations to our winner, Blake Thronberg. This is Elevated TV. We'll have a break and have some interviews afterwards. Welcome back here to Myrtle Beach. Blake Thronberg, your winner. It was a Zeems setup shop 1, 2, 3 of Blake Thronberg, Ross Dalton, and Gary Ledbetter. As we'll head down to Victory Lane, as we have Christian Delgado standing by with our 3rd place finisher, Gary Ledbetter.
And we got Gary here in P3. Yeah, Gary, well, like you said, 1, 2, 3 for you guys. Just walk us through your race.
Man, it was a pretty good race there. I think I might have went a little too early. When I got there in front of Blake, I was going to want to control the pace. I knew he'd be the one to beat, but it didn't work out there as planned. Then they freight trained me on the inside, and I didn't have enough tire for him at the end.
Yeah, looking back at the 22 and the 84, when they were battling side by side, what were you thinking? They were, in my opinion, they were going at it the hardest I've seen tonight. So were you back there just kind of licking your chops, hoping that something would happen?
I didn't really know what to think. I knew I didn't want to wreck Blake, but he was right there, and I thought about going to the outside, but I feel like Blake maybe would have just hold him on the outside, making that they burn the stuff up a little much. So if I would have went to the outside, I would have probably fell back also. But I just rode there behind him. I knew I had probably a third place car, so ain't too bad.
Yeah, third place ain't too bad when you're finishing behind some teammates. But any sponsors, any friends, family you want to thank for this third place finish?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Ross and Blake. They helped me out a bunch. I'd like to thank Zeem Setups and Justin Brooks for doing the design. That'll be about it.
Well, yeah, you can't complain about a third place finish. So we'll let you go back and celebrate with your friends and family. And once again, congratulations on that P3.
Thank you.
So that was Dalton Ledbetter, our third place finisher. As we're going to go down toward the front stretch, as I believe Christian's standing by with our second place finisher and league owner Ross Dalton, who is quoted as saying, "What a freaking awesome race that we had tonight."
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was awesome, dude. That was awesome race. I'm so proud of this group of guys, man, that we have racing. Man, that's 2 weeks in a row we've had a really tremendous race. I mean, you couldn't ask for it to be any better. I mean, that was a classic Myrtle Beach race right there. Everybody you could throw a blanket over. You had two groups. You had your faster group and your second group there, and you could throw a blanket over both groups. And turned out right there whenever everybody lit the wick, you could see what everybody else had, and man, it was awesome.
Yeah, so walk me through kind of your strategy. I saw like the 32, he kind of really wanted to go and try to get that track position early. Were you just kind of content, just kind of riding around, saving your stuff, and then was going to make a move towards the end of that if you had the opportunity to?
Yeah, we was good. I was really good. I was happy with the pace that I was running before the 32 got there. When he got there, he wanted to go a little harder than I did, and I wasn't gonna burn my stuff up there on the bottom, trying to get by him or whatever. And so I figured it'd be easier on me just to let him go, use a few more laps of his tires, and then go back to racing him again. And luckily, it was perfect timing. While I seen Blake turn under the leader, and I said, well, here's my shot to get to for one. If I can make this happen, if I can get by him, I should be able to get by the 84 here as well. And it worked out perfect to get in a second. And thought I had something for Blake there for a second, but he just had a little better. He had a little more right front than I did. My spotter come over and told me my right front was getting wore out. I had just abused it just a little bit more than he did, so come up a little short tonight. But all in all, man, awesome race. As a league owner, as the guy that pulls the strings on this thing, man, I couldn't be more proud of this group of guys, dude. Every single one of them used their heads and put on a really good show.
No, I don't blame you that they put on a hell of a show for the fans at home. Like I said, P2 isn't nothing to complain about when you're sitting behind a teammate. But anybody want to thank friends, family, any sponsors for this P2 spot?
Yeah, man, I gotta thank everybody that makes it happen. Elevated TV, what Rooster and you guys do for us is huge. We appreciate each and every one of y'all that spend the time to make sure that our races go seen. And gotta thank Blake for racing me clean all night long. Ledbetter the same way. Jordan, I mean, everybody in the field. Gotta thank all of them and appreciate them showing up and putting in the effort to create a show for everybody to watch. And yeah, I think Zeem Setup Shop, all that they do, allowing me to be on the team and be a team driver, and appreciate all that they do for me. Real life stuff, I gotta thank Hudson Auto Works, Coltman Farms, Best Retiring Auto, Pitwall Podcast, man. Pitwall Podcast is the reason this thing's able to happen, and really appreciate all that they do for us, real life and in the sim. Tommy Watson Construction, J-Dot Monotech, race sponsor tonight. It was kind of a throwback to what place was real life back in the day, man. Able to sit there and run laps and us be all on top of each other riding like that, man, it really struck up some memories of racing here in real life, and I sure do miss this place.
Yeah, I think we all do miss it in a little bit, but I'll let you go and celebrate as a league owner for a great race, and then also just as a driver and a teammate for a P2. But once again, congratulations on that P2, and hopefully we can you can keep on this momentum, and we'll see you maybe in Victory Lane next week.
Yep, we'll move on to USA next week, and hopefully we can have a good run there.
All right, thanks,
Thank you,
Ross. Yep.
Thank you, buddy.
So that was Ross Dalton, our second place finisher, as we're going to go down to Victory Lane. I'm standing by with our winner tonight, Blake Thronberg. Blake, congratulations tonight on a great race. Give us the rundown.
Man, that was a good race right there. It was basically just all about saving tires, man, just saving that right front on this one. Last race I just did, it was about saving the right rear, and this one was about saving the right front. What a race.
I mean, you saw how when you were side by side with Cody Pace, you guys were kind of leaning on each other. Wasn't anything dirty. It was just close side by side racing. It was really great racing all night.
Yeah, I asked Ross, I said, man, am I coming up or is he coming down? What is it? Because like I said, if I was coming up, I would have tried to hold it on the bottom a little bit more. And Ross said, man, y'all are just putting on one hell of a show. And I said, all right, well, if you say it's clean, it's clean. And so I know Cody, and I know Cody's a good racer and have a lot of respect for him. So, man, that was fun.
From our vantage point, it just seemed like you guys were kind of alternating. There'd be one lap you might come up just a little bit, then the next lap you might come down a little bit, but you guys were just meeting in the middle, it seemed like.
Yeah, man, to be honest with you, I was doing everything I could just to stay inside of him. Just to stay inside of him, because I knew that we'd run there for a while, but I knew eventually the bottom is where you need to be, and I was hoping I could hear his engine. I knew he was driving into the corner just a little bit farther than I was, so I was like, if I can just keep this pace right here and keep him on the outside of me, eventually, hopefully, if he hasn't saved enough tire, eventually the bottom would come through.
You mentioned that, about the tires. How much of a challenge is that, knowing that you have a 100, 125 lap race, however long it is every week, and the only set of tires that you have is on the car? How much of a challenge is that?
I would say it's really challenging, man. You can be fast and still save whichever tire, because it depends on each track. For this one was the right front. Next week, probably at USA, it might be the right rear. But it is, man, because you want to be fast, and you want to win, you want to be out front leading and setting the pace, but sometimes you just got to say, okay, if I can back it back down a little bit and stay within a certain car length behind him, I can I'll eventually be able to get him. And I did that a little bit. We was out riding, and he'd get out, and I'd see how many laps it'd take me to catch him, and then I'd back it back down. But I know Cody, he's a good racer, man, and I knew that it was going to be a handful getting by.
That was really fun to watch all night. Blake, anybody you got to thank?
Yeah, man, you guys, especially you guys for broadcasting it, Elevated Television, Rooster and yourself for, like you said, doing a great job that y'all do. Zoom Setup Shop, Ross for all that he does to put this league on. Each and every one of the guys in here that we race with, I mean, y'all can probably vouch for it, but it was probably one of the best races I've seen in a long time for 125 laps and have 2 cautions for 8 laps.
I mean, you can't ask for much more, honestly.
No, I mean, like I said, some people may think it's boring, but when you're in the race car and like you said, you got that one set of tires, it's a lot of strategy that goes into it. And I guess you would say we seen at the end who had the best stuff and who could run. It's not about running the fastest lap; it's about running the most consistent lap and have the least amount of fall off. So, like I said, I didn't fall off that much at the end, and like I said, man, I just appreciate y'all guys and hands down to you for all that you do.
Appreciate you, Blake. Good job tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good evening.
You bet. That was our winner, Blake Thronberg, tonight. Again, congratulations to him. Of course, our winner last week, Ross Dalton. Was a good race, all in all. So again, our final results one more time as we'll run through them. Your winner tonight, Blake Thronberg. Second place, Ross Dalton. Gary Ledbetter in third. Cody Pace fourth. Jordan Blair over in fifth. Austin Purnell sixth. Chase M. Murphy 7th, Jeremy Beauchamp 8th, Dave Bishner Ninth place, 10th place, and the last car on the lead lap, Jeffrey Johnson. Brian Rose, 1 lap down, 11th. 12th place is Austin Speedy Bird. Buddy Isles, 13th. 14th, Ryan Nowicki, who had to pit there late at the end. And Jason Turner, your last car to finish, 45 laps down. That is your top 15. So we head back. We welcome you back into the broadcast booth. Christian, any final thoughts tonight?
Man, just what a great race, man. I'm so happy that, you know, this race was my debut here in Pitwall podcast car series. I mean, I had a blast being in the booth with you, Dylan, and everything else. And luckily, it was a great race to call. So once again, just what a race by Blake, and even Cody. Even though he ended up finishing in P4, he and Blake put on a hell of a show for that lead for 10-15 laps. So I mean, great racing all around. Only 2-3 cautions, which is really great. So can't wait to come do this again. And yeah, can't wait for USA. One of my favorite tracks, especially like in the street stocks and the legend cars. So I can't wait to see how these late model stocks drive here at USA.
Well, Chris, we appreciate you here tonight. Again, our next broadcast of the Pitwall Podcast Stock Car Series will be next Sunday, as we will tackle another racetrack that has left us here. We'll head to Limaland, Florida, as it will be the USA International Speedway, not Limaland, Florida, or it is Limaland, Florida, isn't it? So it will be USA International Speedway for 125 laps back in this Cars Tour Super Late Model. We're glad you could join us tonight. On behalf of my broadcast partner, Christian Delgado, I am Dylan Conley, alongside our producer, Rooster. Hopefully everything goes well for him this week. He and his wife are expecting a baby this week. We want to thank you for joining us here this evening on Elevated TV. Again, congratulations to our winner, Blake Thronberg. We will see you next week from the USA International Speedway here on Elevated TV. Good night, everybody.